Yo, what's happening everybody? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you lot are all doing well today, man. I really do hope that the morning after the night before where Chelsea got eliminated from the Carabao Cup on penalties by Tottenham, disappointing performance in many ways, disappointing to go out on penalties, and frustrating to not capitalise off a very dominant first half. But I've done a match review for this game. I'm not going to talk about that. I do want to talk about the functionality of this Chelsea team and what's happening in the transfer market today. So welcome back to Chelsea News. That's right, the daily series right here on Football Therapy, where I go across football news media, see what's being said about the Blues, giving you my opinion, but hey, more importantly, asking for yours. And today, I suppose, is a midfielder special. Ross Barkley, bang, out of nowhere, Aston Villa on the bench yesterday for the cup tie. What? And now he's holding up a Villa shirt early this morning. Mad, how, what? Anyway, still talks, of course, of Ruben Loftus-Cheek also going out on loan, which is a very interesting situation. They're both quite similar players, utilised in a similar way. Sure, get both their wages off their books if they're not going to be played that much, quite a lot of money. But more importantly, certainly in the case of Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who I'm a huge fan of, get him in a Premier League team where he's going to start every single game. He's going to find that difficult to play his way back into form. Chelsea can't afford that at the moment. So go and just play every single game in the Premier League. Find your feet again after the injury. So when I talk about these midfielders, and I want to talk about Declan Rice as well, with the functionality of this Chelsea team and how Chelsea absolutely still going to try and get the player, even if West Ham was just adamant they can't. And maybe if they can't get Declan Rice, someone else to play this role that Chelsea are seemingly lacking. So yeah, guys, we're so close to 100,000 subscribers. If you want to support me and help me out, please do consider subscribing to Football Therapy and hitting the all-important bell notifications icon so you know when I upload, mate. And if you want to support me further, please consider dropping a like on the video. You might like the video, so anyway, thanks for your support, guys. Let's get into it. Right, so Chelsea have a lot of players and they want to get some players off the books. Obviously, Zappacosta is on his way out. I don't know what's going on with Emerson now, the whole Alonso fallout, because it did seem like Emerson was the one to go and Alonso might stay, but then Frank's fallen out of Alonso. Emerson looks absolutely naff. Oh God, what's going to happen? Sure, we've got Chilwell at left back, superb, and we've got Azpilicueta that can play there. We probably will be alright, all things considered, but outgoings is still massively important for Chelsea in these remaining few days. So, you know, Batshuayi to Palace, good, he's on high wages, that should be good for him. We've extended his deal as well, so we retain value in the player. Zappacosta, Bakayoko, hopefully to get wrapped up. There's a few things that we need to keep a keen eye on this transfer window, but of course, Ross Barkley, man, like I said in the intro, this came out of nowhere, sitting on the bench. I think everyone accepts Ross Barkley as a good rotational squad player. To play in the Cups, he's got no problem with the physicality of the Premier League. He's incredibly fit and he can run, and he's got a goal in him, and he has games that he's actually very, very good. So everyone was happy for him to be a squad player, but I don't think anyone will cry for him to get a loan at Aston Villa. I don't see how really this helps Chelsea too much other than shaving some wages off the squad. Ultimately, if Barkley's going on loan, I think Chelsea are going to bring a midfielder in pretty darn definitely still this transfer window. A quick shout out for Barkley though, going to Aston Villa. I actually think it's a really good signing for Villa. Him playing in the midfield with Grealish and McGinn behind Ollie Watkins. Formidable. Barkley's quite a coup for them, like, let's have it right. And ultimately with that squad, I think they're going to stay up in the Premier League, do a bit, so it's pretty interesting. I'm quite keen to see how he plays over there. So before we talk about an incoming player, let's also talk about Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Of course, Frank Lampard had spoken about Rubes for a while. He rates him incredibly highly. And when Frank Lampard talks about Ruben, he talks about him in the same way like I talk about him, which really pleases me. He's such a unique player and offers Chelsea something so much different than any other player in the squad. And he's got an incredibly high ceiling. He can be so good, but he's come off a radically bad injury, much worse than Hudson-Odoi's Achilles injury. And you can't just rotate him in and out and trust him to play his way back into form. And it's too much pressure on him to do that in this Chelsea side with our current attacking mid personnel. It's not fair and it's just too risky. So he might be my favourite Chelsea player, certainly has been the last couple of years, and I'm totally backing the concept of Ruben Loftus-Cheek going out on loan. Now, it's not definite, but Frank Lampard's come out and said they're having conversations and they're trying to find the best solution for Ruben. And let's be real, a Premier League loan where he can play game in, game out and be in a starting 11 and start to gain confidence and express himself would probably be perfect. And he's on a relatively high wages, so that would shave it off Chelsea's books for a season when he's not playing, for them at least. So it makes a lot of sense. And it should make sense for Ruben. Where would he go? I'm not so sure, provided it's not a relegation scrapping team. I don't think I'd be quite happy with that. Do you know what I mean? But if this is to happen, Barkley shocked everyone, but if both Ruben, I understand why Ruben would go. If they both go on loan, the stern implication here would be that Chelsea are very, very interested in bringing in a midfielder. Now, we know they want Declan Rice of West Ham, and that would cost a pretty big amount of money, and West Ham have got loads of problems themselves, and the club are imploding. You'd think there'd be riots if they sold Declan Rice to Chelsea this summer. Chelsea are going to try, but is it likely? I'm not so sure. Now, for loads of you who don't rate Declan Rice, I suggest you have a look at him a little bit closer. The last game out, the 4-0 win against Wolves, he was excellent, imperious numbers. He's very young, he's got leadership qualities, he's a very good defender, and he's very good at linking defence and midfield. Pretty much exactly what Chelsea need. What have Chelsea got at the moment? They've got Jorginho, very good metronomic regista style player. I see great value in Jorginho, but not this kind of player that we need. We've got Kante, box-to-box, interceptive midfielder, destroyer, superb world-class player. He isn't that player. Kovacic is a ball progressor. He was a number 10, wasn't he, at one point? Kovacic used to be an attacking midfielder. He's not that player. Chelsea don't have this player. They need someone who could either sit in a 4-2-3-1 and sit him next to Kante. The double pivot of Kante-Kovacic doesn't work. The Jorginho-Kovacic, they understand each other in terms of their movements, but it doesn't function for the formation, for the attack. It doesn't work. A player of Declan Rice's player profile is perfect. Yes, there's the romance of he's a Chelsea fan, ex-academy, and he's a leader, and Chelsea are lacking leaders. But in terms of functionality of this 4-2-3-1 or even a 4-3-3, the two formations that Chelsea are seemingly looking to use this season, we are missing that kind of player. And this is not me, don't be like, yeah, no, you're hating on Kante or Jorginho. No, I love them all. I think Ampadu and Billy Gilmore could play in that CDM role years to come as well. I'm looking right now, Chelsea have bought loads of attacking talent, which will ultimately look after itself once we can link this defence and midfield and onwards. But when there's no functionality in the engine room, which there really isn't at the moment, it causes problems. So there lies the big Declan Rice links situation. Now, it doesn't have to be him, I don't suppose. I think Chelsea can look at alternatives. I know some well-versed Chelsea fans, football fans will have their own ideas, I'm sure, about who could play this role. Obviously, Declan Rice is a massive target because he's doing it in the Premier League right now, and when you bring in a player from another league, there always incurs risk of, can they do it here? Can they speak the language? Can they, keep it up with the speed and physicality? We've seen Declan Rice do it week in, week out. So there's that. Pretty much, I think Chelsea will bring in a midfielder in this window, especially if Ruben goes on loan as well. We'll have plenty of options of attacking midfield. Ziyech can, Pulisic can play in the 10, as well as Mason Mount, do you know what I mean? As well as Havertz. And then Kovacic and Kante play as 8s as well, so we're going to be fine, but we do need that proper CDM. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys posted whether it is Declan Rice, whether we make a bid. I'll react to it here on Football Therapy, so make sure you are subscribed to this channel and you keep it locked. And yeah, I'm keen to get your thoughts and opinions, so get down in the comment section below. I'll be reading them. Please do consider dropping a like if you want to support your boy, and go follow me on Twitch. There's a link in the top of the description. I'm going to play FIFA 21, and I'm currently playing FIFA 20, and it's a bunch of fun, so follow me. Hey, maybe even subscribe on there. That's enough of the housework, man. Enjoy the football. I'll see you later.
so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.